Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama, and today I'm going to be bringing you Cheese with Ease. This is Heart of the Swarm version. So of course, this is going to be a little different because this is not one of those perfected cheese. This is not one of those cheeses that is like, alright, this is how you do it. This is the exact cheese and the exact timings, anything like that. Rather, this is simply going to be an idea cheese with ease. And the reason that I'm bringing this out there and kind of presenting it, I want to turn that music down. That music is so loud. Excuse me. How do we get to that sound? Music. See if that's better. Yeah, it sounds a little better. Okay, so the reason that I want to go ahead and bring this and bring this to everybody's attention is because, like I said, I'm an ideas man. I'm somebody who likes to kind of come up with stuff and likes to come up with cool little things to try out, cool little ways to shift the metagame, at least bring about different strategies and stuff to punish players for being greedy and just kind of punish the certain way that players play. So with that being said, I am doing a Swarm Host Rush. I'm sure something like this has been done before. But this is going to be the Mr. Llama version. I feel like it does hit a tiny bit late. This wasn't, of course, an optimal way to do it. I feel like with the rocks here now, hatch first may be okay, as long as you prevent him from, walling himself in over here. But I don't go hatch first. Instead, he goes for a pylon block and then a gateway block on me, and I forgot to make some lings, and so I float up to like 750 minerals, something like that, at the start. So don't follow my opening game example right here. I might even just speed through the opening because you know what, who cares? I just do a 15 pool into a hatch sort of opener. And I actually have to grab the hatch down here because he's being really annoying up here. And I forgot that I was going to go for this strategy. So what I'm going to do is it's a 2-base sort of push. And where I'm getting this from is when I used to play StarCraft 2 with Hydralisk a long time ago, right? Before Hydras were the worst unit ever and nobody played with them. I'm talking like a year and a half ago probably. I would go for this 2-base Hydra drop that Idra had been doing a little bit, stuff like that, and I found it to be really effective in the ZvP matchup. And it hit around 10 minutes, I want to say, something like that. And so I was like, you know what? What if I did a ZvP Swarm Host Rush instead? And here I throw down double gas just to scare him, just in hopes that he's going to play a little bit more defensively. I canceled those immediately, just FYI. But yeah, so that's why I did throw those down. Here you can see, of course, I'm floating a ton of money. I'm trying to pick away at this. My lings are so late that he's actually going to be able to get this gateway up as well and just be really annoying, right? So, boo, no fun. Nobody likes you. But regardless, this is just a ladder game, by the way. And I'm not saying that this player is going to be an amazing player either. I think he is a Masters player from just watching kind of his style, how he's playing. I'd say he's Diamond or Master. But it's, I'm Platinum right now in Heart of the Swarm, but I've only played like 10 games or something. So everybody's kind of, it's all over the place. Then you have people that got into Grandmasters doing absolutely nothing, right? So here's kind of the idea. I do take this hatchery, and then I'm like, oh, I can take this one. I'm like, wait, no, I won't. But I actually like that decision to take this bottom hatchery, and the reason is because Protoss players generally don't scout in for the natural. Instead, they scout to make sure that the third is actually there. So after I planted it down, I was like, oh, I could switch it, and I was like, nah, I probably won't. If he's a good Protoss player, which I feel like he is, just judging by all of his movements and everything, I'm going to believe that he's just going to check for my third a little bit later on and make sure that that is going up. So I am just kind of seeing exactly what's going on. He's only working off that one gas right there initially, so not going to have enough to immediately get out that warp gate. And but he should be able to get out fairly soon. But here we go. So I'm going to do the queen transfer down while I have my other queen up here. And now I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing some gases. I have a ton of money. So I need to grab gas, grab some overlords, grab some drones. And I'm still just going to drone up at this point, and here we see, I see that he's going to head over there as well because I have vision of these towers, which I love the 4 towers. I mean, it gives you such great map vision, right? It's not really great. It gives you literally the entire map across if you have all 4 towers. So it's kind of silly, but at the same time, I like it when I'm Zerg and I have Zerglings right over there. But something that I did notice is that if you're a Protoss player and you get out your Mothership Core, I guess he's not building his, if you get out your Mothership Core, the Mothership Core can actually just run around here and deny all the towers. So that really sucks. as a Zerg player at least. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw down my lair. I get double Evo as well because I want my little dudes to have 1-1 because they are so strong. Like, I love these little dudes, the little swarm host and the little buggers that they shoot out, but it is ridiculous how strong they are somewhat. I mean, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm half and half on it because when I play against them, I'm like, holy crap. And then when I play with them, I'm like, all right. So it's kind of like Infestors. Excuse me. It's kind of like Infestors, I guess, where you love them when you have them, you hate them when you don't. So I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to figure out for other races when I play like Terran Protoss. I guess Protoss not as much. When I play Terran is when I was really struggling against Swarm Hosts just because they can just continually come. And I think Banshees is the way to go. So I think early Banshees is the way to stop the early Swarm Host. Regardless, so anyways, I'm getting my Infestation Pit now. I do have my lair. The 1-1 is on the way. I'm getting the gas down here. I'm just continuing to mine up, being a good little droner, dude. 48 drones. So that's a decent amount of drones. Maybe a couple too many drones, you could even say. And at this point, I'm starting to kind of set up my positioning here. So I actually have my Overlord, which is going to come over here and drop creep. And he actually doesn't see this. If you go to his vision, which I watched his vision before, he can see the little creep spot, but he never really looked there. I kind of like watched his vision. And then I sent some drones down as well, because I want these drones to be able to build spore crawlers. And the reason for this, of course, is most Protoss players that I've been playing against, at least thus far, have been opening up with the Stargate. So they open up and they get out those oracles, which, holy cow, oracles do so much damage. Has anybody else seen that? I played a PvP and the dude brought in 3 oracles into my main base, and all my drones all my probes died in like 2 seconds. And then I had a guy bring some in and kill off my Hydralistan in like 3 seconds. So I don't know, they're doing a lot of damage. I thought they weren't even an attacking unit, but apparently now they are. So I'm gonna have to look more into that. I'll probably do some review videos of exactly what's going on. But anyways, here, so I'm just starting to mass out my swarm host at this point, just continually pump him out. I get a couple spore crawlers in my bases just in case he does go for any sort of shenanigans whatsoever. And I'm just going to start throwing down my swarm host. And once I get 3 or 4, I'm going to start pumping him in. So it looks like he was going for some sort of Mortal Sentry style of play right here. Has a lot of gates, 5, 6, 7 gates. So yeah, it's late, right? It's a little bit late. I'll agree to that. But you know what, everybody's still kind of testing things out, and I'm able to pick off the Observer, so that is the other reason. Spore Crawlers are good against number 1 air, number 2 Observers. What do you need to see Swarm Host? Well, you need Observers. I probably should have moved this one in a little bit. Regardless, now I start to go ahead and just move the Swarm Host in, set that rally, and continually pump them over there. And I mean just continually. These things are annoying as ever. So you're just able to take out Thing one by one. See, so he's just waiting, building up this army. He's like, all right, I'm going to build up a nice little army. I'm going to head out there and I'm just going to demolish all of his Swarm Host. But it doesn't really work like that because, wow, these guys do so much damage. And here you're going to see he's going to charge out and it's like, all right, he's going to easily take this one down, right? This will be winning with ease in his favor. But then he gets out here, and note that he cannot see my guys because I've killed off his spore crawlers. So he can't focus those guys down. He's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait until that spore can get in range, or that spore is done. Now he can finally see, but by the time he can see, there's so many swarm hosts out here that I'm able to clean up his entire army right there. So extremely powerful. And what am I doing? I'm just continuing to rally more and more and more. When I start floating a lot of minerals and less gas, I'm going to go ahead and start getting some lings down there as well. I've started my +2 upgrades. Here I'm going to start making lings. I don't think I have ling speed yet, which is unfortunate. As I said, I was kind of making this up as I was going. But it's really nice because I can now get ling speed fairly soon and just keep sending these over, and they just keep pushing in and keep pushing in and keep doing damage, and they are just so strong. I just love them. Look at them, and they got the one little 1/1 as well. 13 damage a shot. Wow, that is a ton. So I don't really have my guys rallied all together. I'm not sure if I want them rallied all together or not, because when they're rallied like this, it's a constant stream. Yes, they're weaker streaming in 1 by 1, but it also makes it harder for him to push out, I feel like, and catch me in a place where like all of them die and he goes out and snipes a few guys off. So regardless, now I have some lings that I've streamed in here as well. These are going to be kind of protective for now until the speed does finish, but I'm just going to continue to send all my swarm hosts up and continue making swarm hosts because I love swarm hosts. Love, love, love swarm host in my belly. So he's trying to get some range upgrades on these Colossus. And I thought Colossus would be a great counter to these guys. Apparently they're not. So right now they're just dying on time because they're just expiring before they're getting there. So I didn't quite realize. I thought they had a little bit longer life than that. So I'm actually going to move forward, I think, fairly soon. But regardless, does a very nice sum of damage here. And of course, once I do finish the speed, I'm going to start my +2 now as well, start a third hatchery. I mean, at this point, I can just continue to macro up, get better upgrades, etc. And I'm also dropping down more spore crawlers just in case, because I don't want him to have vision right here. So he has that observer, and that's going to be the end of that. So I do believe I move forward. Here we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and gather them all, move them all forward, drop them down. And once again, he can't see them, and he tries to get an observer there, and it's going to go ahead and die. So once again, he can't see anything, and I'm just going to continue to move in. That is so many swarm hosts, and they're just running stupid at this point. Oh, okay, there we go. So that's pretty much going to be it. Like I said, it's not perfect, right? There's definitely some things that could be fixed. There's definitely some things that are like, oh, well, you know, it's a little weak at this timing, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I do understand that. But I feel like it could definitely be perfected or dwindled down a minute or two. Maybe not two, but like minute and a half. You could cut time off of that, something like that. And still hit with the swarm host in a good enough fashion that you could do a ton of damage, similar to this, because you saw he tried to push out with that army and it just didn't work, especially when he had no vision. So if you can kill off the observer, and you can kill off any sort of mothership core that tries to head out there, because they can give vision as well, but they have to be really close and they're really weak. So if you can kill those off, well, then he doesn't get vision and your swarm hosts just tear it up. So with that being said, my name is Mr. Llama. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not the typical cheese with these, but it's something to play around with, something for you guys to have, for those of you who do have Heart of the Swarm beta. And I will see you guys next time.